Welcome back. Big shout out to all the subscribers. Welcome in the new subscribers. We got some serious fantasy baseball to get into here today. Let's get back to the original question. The original question was, should I target Acuna, Bellinger, and Rendon? And my answer was, I think you should look at Acuna, yes, but instead of Bellinger and Rendon, check out maybe just Machado, paying up for Machado. So we got a few things to go over today. I have an auction one. I have an auction two to go over. I've got strategy. I've got strategies to make you a better auctioneer today, like a whole probably vertical jump. You could level up here today if you stick around for a little bit. We got to get into some players, but first we got to get into this first metric. So come over, get over to your baseball savant, get over to your leaderboard, and what we're looking at today is pull up under barrels. There's the little number sign. It's just the number, and sort by number. And you got to come to terms with these numbers here. It's not always just feelings. It's really about numbers. And you see here Machado at number 6 with 60 barrels. JD. I mean, we're going to talk about this list a little bit, some of the implications here. JD, number 1. Chris Davis, the most underrated player in all of fantasy baseball, is Chris Davis. Guaranteed power. Gallo, Stanton, no surprises. Betts. There's Machado. That's why Machado for $35 is coming at value. And why I was saying, pay up, because if we scroll down, so now I'm just going to show you, just be able to scroll loose, get down 40, 50 players. You'll notice the color coding on the side. And notice how that scrolls to a lighter, and then you'll get a pop. You'll get a pop color. Pop colors are interesting players. We get a pop on Hunter Renfroe. Mental note, 8.4. Shohei Ohtani, 36 barrels, pops on 9.8. So, Yasiel Puig with a pop of 7.7. My kind of floor for barrel rate is 7.5. I really like 8s and 8.5. There's Trey Turner. 206 hard hit, we like 31 barrels, okay, but 4.2, the launch angle's not there, the power's lacking. Right above him at number 80, Gary Sanchez, so I'm just sorted barrels, and that's kind of where I came with some advice, and I think you have to square these numbers with who's in the top of your list, who are your elite players. But before we leave here, just check some historical. That's 2018, sorted by barrel, sorted by number. If you go back and you sort 2017 numbers by barrel, I mean, Aaron Judge, oh my God, what a season was that? There's JD. JD's basically owned this league for like 4 or 5 seasons, guys. I hate to tell you. Chris Davis, why doesn't he go in the first round? I don't know. Manny, again, that's why, you can't get me off of Manny. Just a couple segues here, a couple things. I wanted to get off of Castellanos. I'm going to have to come all the way back around to Castellanos, that he's creating this BABIP through 51 through 200 barrels worth of just hard contact. Do I have to reason with him, his ability? But we can go back. There's some more historical guys. Check out 2016. Scan down. Look at some of those. Who are the deep red poppers? You'll see a Bryce pop. You'll see a JD. Go all the way back to 15. You might see a guy Stanton. So no, things to check out. But back to 2018. I mean, Javi Baez, I'm going to have to take really serious. That barrel percentage at 8.7, that is really nice. You see why I can't really get off of Trevor Story up here. Hoskins at 21. The 7.1 on the barrel rate's a little low, but that's okay. 47 of them. Bryce is lingering. The guys I got to scroll down and warn you about, who I'm a little concerned about. Cody Bellinger down at 62, a 5.5 on the barrel percentage. Is that going to come up, Cody? And why is Cody's neighbor, number 61, Yoan Moncada? Yoan Moncada and Cody Bellinger are making roughly the same amount of hard contact. I don't know what that says for either player. Shohei Ohtani is the premium option over both of them. That 9.8. Shohei Ohtani's bat is special. If you want to wait for him or stash him on the DL, when he comes back, whatever plate appearances he gets, they're gonna be of him hitting. Gary Sanchez popped. Okay, so go through that. Let me just talk on players because I stratified my really top peak top with Betts, Trout, JD, Acuna. Obviously, I gotta come back. Yelich, Judge, Kairis, Davis, Stanton. These guys are no doubters in the outfield. Trey Turner with his priciness, I got him pushed up. A couple guys I wanted to talk about. Eugenio Suarez pushed up. In the outfield, look at Conforto, Haniger. You can go back to that. Haniger is better than Springer. I mean, the numbers are there. Gallo, Encarnacion, I got Moncada up. I think I'm apologizing to Eddie Rosario. Muncy, I check ex-Woba, and ex-Woba says I should believe in Muncy. It's time to believe in Muncy, so I got Muncy up. He could fill in at third base. And look at some of those guaranteed power numbers late. We got to push up a Grichuk, a Hunter Renfroe, Matt Kemp, Miguel Sano, probably Adam Eaton, Teoscar Hernandez. Those are my little bit of batter push-up. Obviously a Trey Mancini push-up, a regular Gurriel if you want average. And I pushed a P.J. Crone way up. He could be some cheap power. Let me tell you how this auction goes. Just completely flip the switch. I think that's it from players. I mean, I just think you got to go and just look at that barrel number and see what kind of barrel numbers you're drafting. So I was already a little concerned about Trey Turner because, like, am I just drafting a rabbit? Am I just drafting a speedster and not enough power? Because there's other guys. If I'm going to be paying, let me pay up for those expensive guys. And, you guys basically make me laugh about we're not going to talk about stars and scrubs. We're not going to talk about stars and scrubs because when people that do snake, they got their one term about, an auction, we're going to go stars and scrubs. But there's a little bit of truth in it. The other term, the coinage that I'm taking from snake is the double tap. That's like the only move you can make in a snake is if you're on the cusp, you take two guys of the same position, like closer on the cusp, the double tap. So I've been mixing double tap into my auction strategies, pulling on everything I can. We're going to talk a little bit about stars and scrubs and if that works in your results. But basically what some guys are doing is just showing I can get 4, 5, 6 nasty pieces that you could never get in a snake. You could never get these. You can only get them in an auction. And we're kind of fighting over that. So here we go. Let me go over to my first draft here. And I go into it and I want that Trey Turner. I want that Trey Turner. But he runs me up to like 50-52. And so I don't want this to go where it went with Acuna again, where I'm up in the high 50s, paying something crazy, maybe 60, maybe, he's in love with him. I can get off. I was already debating it because of hard hit rate. I can live with Story or Lindor. I'm happy either one of those. So I get off it. Machado comes up. All right, I'm going to build around Machado, maybe even at the third base spot. I think I get him for value, 35. But because I got thrown off of my Turner alert piece, I fall back, of course, to you-know-who, Ronaldinho Acuna. So I'm pushing Acuna. I'm thinking 45. He's not going to go for free on my watch. 42. He's on the team. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good. I didn't overpay. I mean, that's the cheapest I've seen Ronald. I'm someone who's owned Ronald at 65. So Ronald at 42, that's exciting. I get back in Trevor Story and Bryce Harper. Both coming to me at 35. They kind of fall. So I got the money men. I got the Machado and the Bryce Harper, the 2 contract year guys, the 300 millers. And I'm just going to start calling these two the usual for me. And then I went over and I grabbed the usual, Rhys Hoskins and Alberto Mondesi. I don't know why I can't get off of Rhys at 1B if he's coming around $25. Just can't help myself. And Alberto, whether it's 20, 18, 24, I just keep getting shares. I keep telling myself to do it differently, but I can't help it. And then the adjustment we made in this auction, the move we were looking to do was to get a little bit more top ace and fill out the closers better, I get a Carlos Carrasco and a Patrick Corbin. Okay. And then I eat late. And the magic here, if you've been digging in and waiting for a tip, is that here's tip number one. This is huge. Right about 100 picks at about the 10th round, 100 to 130 picks. There's a shelf. There's gonna be a cliff. Players are going from $10, $12, whatever, to $4. There's a gap, it's going to 4. So don't be expecting, win that last piece there, slam the door closed. You know, if you have $60 or $70, you're in the 120th pick, the 10th round. Win a couple fights there because there's not going to be a lot of fights left. You know, get in that money early, get your last guy, because here I aggressively took Corbin. And then it ended, and I had my way because these are all snipes. $4 Hampson, $3 Luis Castillo. That's when I knew I was in the bonus, when I have Castillo, a teens player, going for 3. Alex Reyes for 3, Bieber for 3. No one could stop me. James for 3. Vizcaíno, Will Smith, Lucchesi. Snipe, 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 snipe. So those are all keys. Let me circle back to that notion of stars and scrubs. So if it's going to be scrubs, first of all, don't have $1 per player. So always super disciplined. It's part of the discipline, part of the trade. You have to save $2 per last dollar player. If you've bought 13, you've got 10 guys left, you need to have $20. You need $2 per player down there. Anything over the 2 per player, that's your spending money. That's your sword. You want to get a player with that, go ahead. But you have to throw the brakes on, because I'm convinced that winning in that, when it's only $1 bids, the guys that don't do it, and when I get to have my way and I get to beat all of them to things and they can't slip anything by, that's the scrub life. That's the late night life we want to live. Got to stick to that technique, but also look for that cliff. I'll be giving you the next technique. Let me make sure I don't have anything else for you. So I dropped this team. I mean, I want to give it to you the overview once from the top. Could you live here? And then the advancements I make. So after I lay this team out, I'm going to lay out to you the strategy that I figured out from auction 2. But here it is. Danny Jansen, obviously. Rhys Hoskins, Alberto Mondesi. At third base, Manny Machado. Around the corner, Trevor Story, Ronald Acuna Jr., Bryce Harper. Ramon Laureano, Garrett Hampson, DeJong, Buxton on the bench. I mean, I sent this to my friend, and he looks at it. He was like, it kind of sounds like, the teams that you're talking about. It's like, so he was just bored by it, just unimpressed. Like, Machado, Story, Acuna, and Harper. Like, they're not going to get it going. Look at those hard hit numbers. I mean, are those not, those guys, that's 4 category production. You could never get that in the snake. Who are you going to get in the snake? Acuna and Bryce, both of them? And Story? I don't think so. So that team, I thought, is stacked. Maybe not. The aces, Carrasco and Corbin. Vizcaíno, Will Smith, Luis Castillo, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hicks, Matt Barnes. These are closers. Reyes, Bieber, Josh James, Joey Lucchesi. So there's 2 spinoffs from here. I found out it was a little closery. I don't want 5 full closers. I want 3 who have the job locked down, maybe 4. Maybe that's 3, and then a whole bullpen if the 4th one is like Knebel Hader. I can deal with it, but I want to be acier. I need the aces. I need to keep risking it on upside. But the thing I'm going to do in a future video, where we're going in between a future auction, is getting to know the workhorse aces a little bit. It's nice when you see Carrasco and Corbin dropped in for 231 Ks, 246 Ks, just projected, versus some of these light inning guys, Bieber being a little light inning. I might look a little further into some aces, that are going to grind and put some long-term work in. So that's the squad. Could you live with it? And then I asked myself, I was like, all right, I can get acier. I can get acier than this. Carrasco and Corbin, I said be greedy in the middle rounds, but I couldn't really. I mean, Castillo, is that enough? Reyes is like more of a flyer. I want to get really acy. And then the strategy dawned on me from the end of last season that I figured out. And It's a subtlety about nominating your players and buying your players at a cheap cost. So there's kind of three parts to it. Just nominating a player, let's say just a cheap player, Garrett Hampson. I throw him in early. The bot's going to take him to $3. Nobody wants him yet. He might go to $5 or $6, but I'm going to pay $3 extra just for purchasing. It's like the right to purchase, getting that guy at that point. So the strategy that I used to get acier was I'm just going to nominate my aces, and I'm going to pay that little premium to get them while money's out. So I can nominate a Bauer. You know, Bauer's a 1A ace to me. I threw him out there. I get him for about 26. What I get here is, this is the subtlety. You get a bonus for buying a low-end player and winning a battle. So while guys are spending on high-end $50 players, $40 aces, by buying a $24 player, or even better, a 5 or a 6, filling out your lineup, you're actually kind of extending your buying window. So really applying a whole different pattern to getting some of your cheap guys, and just pay the little premium. Pay the nomination premium, pay the I wanted him early premium, and it's worth it because you're going to see you can balance, you can make a little bit more balanced team. So basically I'm paying in for these aces. Here it is. Here's the key tip, the key sensation to being more zen-like in your auctions. To being able to be agile but have your targets, kind of knowing what you're going to do each time. The auction is a little bit like an umbrella. There's umbrella players. So on any one given auction, you know, I might list Trey Turner alert, $40, $42. So depending if someone's hype or not, this is a player that could go from a 40 to a 50. You know, he's got a little bit of an umbrella range. At the same time, you know, Aaron Judge. You got Judge. He could be 35 if he slips and gets nominated late, but if he goes up early, I'm seeing him go 40, 45. I'm seeing JD could go 55. So these things kind of fluctuate, but underneath there's another sub umbrella. There's a tier of player that's pretty nice, the $35 player. Here's some Goldschmidt, some Machado, some Harper, just kind of floating, fluctuating in there. But your value really rests in the 25. A $17 player is great value. The guys that I'm having trouble getting, that I just can't get my hands on, are Andujar and Olsen. You know, I think that I'm going to float. Oh, shoot, let me just slip Matt Olsen in here. I've got him listed at 13. The bot has him at 13. I threw him into the dog pit. He went for 20. All of a sudden, whoa, I didn't want Matt Olsen at 20. I wanted him at 13. So when to nominate, my thing with this umbrella is pushing little pieces up, saying, no, a little bit more there, being able to get off. But the value is what falls through the umbrella. What guys are going, man, he only went for 30. You know who I'm seeing falls? Juan Soto. The shine is kind of worn off. You know, maybe this is just a sophomore slump year. Soto's kind of fallen to 30. So you could build around different things if you're just willing to control your prices. Paying for a $40 player really slows your roll. You know, if you're getting your players for 25 is value. 35 could be your upside. If you can keep your picks to teens to 25, you can shop all day, especially if you start mixing in some cheaper things. So let me go to this draft. Let me go in the order and the way I purchased on this team. A little bit of the breakdown here. You know, actually, I wanted to shout somebody out here. JD gets in here. This is his team. He drops in the comments, and I like this. And I'm going to say this is kind of a similar team to my Machado, Acuna, Story, Harper. He goes and gets Acuna for 37, Vlad Jr. for 26, Turner alert 44, Stanton 40, Hoskins 22. And then he kind of rounds it out. Ramos 4, Hosmer, Winker, Voit, Marwin, Senzel, Kepler. Usual suspects. Carrasco and Bauer, his two aces, 22, 26. Some Wheeler. Of course, you know, I think he's a number 3 ace. Lucchesi, Whitley, Luzardo, Leclerc. And then he's getting closers, having his way with it. Will Smith, Vizcano, Hicks, Strop. I mean, this is a nice team. This is the almost stars and scrubs where you're saying, listen, I'm going to get whoever I want in the first round. You guys are sleeping a little bit on Acuna, Turner alert. I'll wait for. I mean, he's doing whatever he wants, and then a Stanton for some extra power. The only things I might polish here, I've been concerned about waiting for starters, so like Whitley and Luzardo, who I want to keep my eye on. I wonder how patient I'll be in season. Hosmer's a little ground bally for me. Maybe that's where I want my Crone, but hey, I respect it for collateral damage. You know, collateral damage with Machado coming into town. This is my next team here. Jonathan Villar nominated. Second auction, basically a double tap auction. First auction pops off. My boy's like, nah, I don't know about that team. I'm going to pop my second auction. Sunday night auction. A lot of participation, only a couple bots. Jonathan Villar with the third pick. Well, John Villar is part of my plan. It's part of my plan if I don't need Turner, that I'm going to use him at shortstop. I can trust him there. So I get in. 17. Yeah, I plan on paying 20. I'll take it. My first chance, I'm going Trevor Bauer. And I think I sneak him $24 sure. Trey Turner comes up with the 13th pick. Just from spending 17 and 24, I'm not being pushed up. I already was feeling good about myself. I would have let Trey go here at 45. He leaves me at 44. Trey Turner alert, we got our share. I come back. This might be my next nomination. Walker Buehler with the 4th pick. I'm spending it up front. You know, I said I need to get acier. If you want the new ace number, what were we floating about? 185 to 75 or 175 to 85. No, if you want to be AC, if you want a team that's AC like this, it's probably 110. I think you got to spend about 110 on aces. You got to pay up a little bit and get yourself 2 to 3 $25 aces. Probably a couple more pieces. Here we go. I mean, my 5th piece here is who I said I'd be targeting. Block A Snell, $28. That's my 3rd ace at this point. I find some room for Vlad G. Jr. going for 19. Just nobody fighting for him. You know, when I'm seeing Vlad go for 30 in some auctions, I get him at 19, I'm happy. And then I go over. Of course, I go and get a piece of the usual. And this time, Hoskins, just the way there were no other first basemen, and I knew I needed power because I had gone Villar and Turner. I needed Hoskins. I would not get off. He ran me up to 34. 35 might have been my drop-off point. I get him for 34. Hoskins. Rounded out Alberto for only 12. Not with me in the auction. I scoop him for 12. That's a discount. And yes, that's 3 teams for Alberto. He is an all-teams kind of guy right now. Aguilar for 9. Stack some power. Patrick Corbin for 15. That was my last kind of like wrangle down piece. The 4th ace. But I saved the right amount of money and I lived late and I named my player late. Watch how this rounds out. Jesus Aguilar, Kikuchi, Marquez, Wheeler. My outfield was soft. Can I live with Conforto, Mazzara, and Hunter Renfroe? $2 steals. Glass now. Nick Senzel. It seems like we're doing the Vlad Jr. Nick Senzel trapdoor approach. We don't even know if Nick is starting. He's holding a spot. Worst case is Nick doesn't start. We cut him. We drop somebody else in. It's for free. Hopefully Nick works his magic and gets a starting role. Finish this off. Vizcaíno, Alex Reyes for 2. Alvarado for 2. Will Smith for 2. Danny Jansen. I had $3 left at the end. I went and got myself a candy bar from the machine. You know, you want to have a little bit of money at the end so you can go get yourself like a Sprite. That's how you know that you were micromanaging that money down to the last dollar and really paying attention and grinding at the end and looking for that big volume change. You don't want to leave and go have like Olive Garden with the girlfriend. That's going to be too much money. You just need a little bit to go get a Snickers or something. those are my players for you. That's how you get acier. I want to read that team over because that was the draft order. Listen, can you roll with this? Is this enough hitting? Catcher, Danny Jansen, obviously. Jesus Aguilar, Villar, Senzel, Waiting, Trey Turner, the outfield of Conforto, Mazzara, Hoskins in the outfield, Renfroe, Mondesi, Guerrero on the bench. But listen to how AC this team is. And we're going to see. I mean, I'm playing these teams out. I'm trying to win with every one of these teams I put together. These aren't just mock auctions. These are like, I'm trying to win leagues again auctions. And I'm trying to make dominant teams. This pitching staff is ridiculous. Blake Snell, Patrick Corbin. Vizcaíno, Alvarado closers. Bauer, Buehler, Marquez, Will Smith as a closer. Glasnow, Kikuchi, Wheeler, Reyes. Whew, I don't know. Mix that in with some Trey Turner alert. And I just want to mix in. I wanted to complement his speed. I think I'm okay with adding Villar and Mondesi because I'm not gonna use up Turner's speed. I'm gonna always be able to complement it. This team might always win speed. I mean, if these guys really take the 40, the 30 plus bases they're all supposed to take, this is a speedy team. I'm hoping for enough power. And, and I'm just going to say Hunter Renfroe, where we started, just to circle back. I mean, we go back to that barrels number, and we just scan down, We're looking for guys late to kind of pop. There's Hunter Renfroe at 54 spots, 37 barrels, that 84 number. I'm just going by the numbers, not the feelings. The numbers. Big shout out to all the subscribers. Welcome in. I'm gonna keep dialing in the fantasy content for you. The next major thing is getting into these starting workhorse pitchers to make sure when we're getting acier the right way. And some of this new technique, some of this spread out value-based drafting, extend your draft, win more of your players, win your late players early. I'm out.